Hello everybody, Retro Guy 25 here, and I'd like to talk about the rumors and supposedly Sega might do a Sega Dreamcast Mini, and well, I think that's a good idea and all. I mean, I think they should do the Sega Saturn Mini first, like do Sega Saturn and then Dreamcast, but Dreamcast seems to be more popular, and I think it was a little bit more successful than the Sega Saturn. Well, actually it was, but it didn't last as long as the Sega Saturn. Sega Saturn lasted like 3 years, but the Dreamcast lasted like 2 years, two and a half, something like that. It ended around late 2001, or it's like mid late 2001, and it's when it ended. So I didn't get a chance to see 2002. But, oh well. But anyways, I'd just like to show off like 3 games that I do own for the Sega Dreamcast that I think should be on the Mini too, so I can have them digitally also and whatnot, because I think that'd be pretty cool. And the first game I want to show off is Crazy Taxi. It might be mirrored or something, upside down, whatever. But yeah, Crazy Taxi for the Sega Dreamcast. Came out in 2000 on the Dreamcast, and I think it's like an earlier release in 2000. I'm not too sure. I can't find a specific date, but it came out in 2000. And here's the back of it. But yeah, it came out for the Sega Dreamcast. After being on the arcades in '99. And then it came to the Dreamcast, and it became very popular in the Dreamcast, and it's pretty cheap too. So I think this should be a must-have to be in Sega Dreamcast Mini if it becomes a real thing. But yeah. Now my next game is... Oh, there we go. Now my next game is... This should be on the Dreamcast. It's a survival horror game. It came out in 2000, January 31st, 2000. So like in a very early time of the year. And that is Carrier, which is a survival horror video game by Jericho or something like that. I'm not too sure how to say their name, but they made the game, and it was published by Sega, I believe so, since it says Sega right there, but it's been published by Sega. But Jericho is the ones that made the game and whatnot. But yeah, Carrier, this game is actually, it's like a Resident Evil clone, sort of, in a way, but it has its own taste to it and its own style to it and stuff. So in some ways it's actually its own game, but I'm not sure how popular this game is, but this game pretty much is a pretty cool game. I mean, I think it's cool. I mean, I think it's really good. But yeah, so if you ever see it, pick it up. But if it comes in Dreamcast Mini, you can just get it that way and whatnot, and just play it digitally, because it's actually a really good game either way, if you own it physically or digitally on the Dreamcast Mini, if it ever comes to real thing, and if it becomes on the list, it'd be really cool. So yeah, and I kind of think it's a hidden gem, because I don't hear too many people talk about it too much and whatnot, and some people has never heard of it and whatnot that I know of. Some people has heard of it and stuff, but never played it that I know of. But the game Yeah, I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's some background stuff. I mean snapshots, not background stuff. But yeah, yeah. So this game is a survival horror. It's got blood and gore in it, animated blood and gore, and plenty of violence, of course. Um, which makes sense since it's rated for mature, of course. Jericho, or Jericho, or something. However you want to pronounce that. Jaleco. But yeah. But yeah, that's that one. And then my last pick. That's, I think it should be a must. This is a hidden gem, I think, in my opinion, on Dreamcast. And it's a survival horror game, pretty much. Rated for mature survival horror game. I don't really hear any survival horror games being rated T for teen. Then again, I think there is, but I'm not too sure what they are, if there is. I mean, I don't know. I can't keep track of all the survival horrors that are a lower rating than infant-mature rating and whatnot. Because most survival horrors are infant-mature in today's age, anyways. Is D2. Now, D2 is, I guess you could say, well, no, not, actually, no, scratch that. It's not really a sequel to D, so, just to let you know, it's just called D2 because it's just another D game after the first D, but first there was the enemy something, the enemy 0 and whatnot on the Sega Saturn. And then it's D2 on the Dreamcast. It's D1 on the PlayStation, which, in my opinion, I think is really cheesy. Then it's the Enemy 0 on the Sega Saturn, which is within the same series. And then there's D2, which is the second D game. All three of them feature a character named Laura, but the Venispo, Visvora, right here, seems to be a little bit more brave in some ways sometimes. Not always scared most of the time, in my opinion anyways. And, it's like an RPG survival horror. It's like both at the same time. You gotta play it to understand what I mean. I'm not gonna go into all details. But yeah, man, here's the back of it a little bit that you can see. It's in third person view for when you're moving around outside and stuff like that. But it goes in the first person shooter, but only stays in one place, and you can only move the camera and then aim in order to kill the different creatures in the game. But yeah, so I think this should be a must-have on the Sega Dreamcast Mini if it becomes a real thing, because I believe it's a hidden gem, at the same time being a really good game with pretty darn good graphics, in my opinion, from at its time, and it came out in the year 2000. Probably late 2000, I think. But yeah, so, I think that this should be on the Dreamcast Mini and whatnot if it becomes a real thing and be on the list. Because I think it's a wonderful game, whatnot, and I think that it should get more love or something. And maybe the new generation out there might enjoy D2 and whatnot. I mean, if they give it a chance. But yeah, also, they're gonna have to program it to do a disc switch thing digitally with a touch of a button, because this is, I believe, 3 discs? No, 4. 4 discs. Yeah, it's a 4-disc game. I believe it's 4. It's either 3 or 4. But yeah, it's a 3 to 4 disc game. So I guess it's pretty long, but maybe not super. I don't think it's super long, but it's long enough. But they had to put it on 3 to 4 discs. But yeah, and that's my top 3. I couldn't do a top 5 because I don't have 2 other Sega Dreamcast games that I think it should be on there. But if I want to say a top 4, then Resident Evil Code Veronica, the original version that used to be a Sega Dreamcast exclusive, that should be on the Sega Dreamcast Mini, then again, if it becomes a real thing. So yeah.